babies.
Thank you, Irene.
Thanks, sweet tits.
William?
Boys.
Richard?
William. All right, boys, welcome to the show. Let's get it started with a couple opening takes. You know what? I'm going to switch it up because the day's been switched up, and I'm going to go to Ray first because now I'm interested to see where you want to take this. Your opening take, Raymond.
Thank you. Next year, we need to address the left tackle position because Isaiah Wynn has been digressing instead of progressing every year. He sucks. He's an absolute trash bag. He's going to get Mac Jones killed. This guy needs to be off the team. We need a new left tackle
Second week in a row, Ray has come with a negative Patriots opening take after a nice convincing win.
Yeah,
what happened to our good jolly Homer?
Hey, let's just keep going. If they keep winning, I'm going to keep shitting on them. So let's keep going. Let's keep this fucking trend going.
Three in a row.
Absolutely. Bill, your opening take.
Why don't you go first? Because I want to piggyback off yours a little
I'm
bit.
changing mine because Ray changed his.
Oh, yes. Are you? All right. So
you can take mine.
Well, I kind of want to do mine a little bit. So, I mean, you talk about the rebuild. This rebuild is going to look a lot different as we're 5-4, kind of half a game out of first place. Getting the rebuild, Mac Jones at 15, you kind of lucked into that. I mean, where would this team be? We're talking about you're in a playoff seed right now over halfway through the season. And I mean, you spent $250 million in the offseason, but a lot of that has to do with your rookie quarterback. Because this team right now, if your succession plan was Cam Newton for another season, where is this team going to be next year when there's no quarterbacks in the draft? So, I mean, you lucked out grabbing Mac at 15.
Yeah. And he's got to continue to do better for this team to do better. Mine is Ben Simmons in the Celtics rumors because Ray couldn't put it together. Ben Simmons rumored to the Celtics this morning for Jaylen Brown has since been said to be not true, which I believe is bullshit. I think Brad Stevens asked about Ben Simmons. The Philadelphia 76ers says, we want Jaylen Brown. Then they called Shams, and that's what got reported. That's what happened. But the fact that Brad Stevens is asking about Ben Simmons, unless that deal involved Marcus Smart, keep Ben Simmons off my team. But I'm coming around to Ben Simmons or Marcus Smart. You're a better team with Ben Simmons, kind of hands down. He's just such a fucking loser tool that it'd be really hard to root for him. But at this point, I need Marcus Smart off this team. So if you can get Smart, make the money work, couple first-round picks, 2 first-round picks at the most, I might do it.
What's he looking at? Was he shrink now? That was the last rumor. Ben Simmons.
Well, he's
shrink.
He's got $365 a fucking game, so
$1,000.
$1,000.
Can I ask you a question though? What's two of the biggest weaknesses on the Celtics right now? Passing the ball, and defense. And what does Ben Simmons bring? Assists, and he's an All NBA defender. I'm kind of talking myself into it. If it doesn't involve. I know, but if it doesn't involve, hold on.
What's the other biggest weakness? We can't shoot the ball.
If it doesn't involve Jaylen Brown, is what I'm saying.
No,
I'm all for it, but you can't make the trade till January if you're trying to do Marcus Smart because you just signed him an extension. Him and Rob Williams can't be moved until at least January. Schroeder can be moved in December.
Yeah,
since you signed him. So I mean, those are 3 of those pieces that are probably going to have to 1, make money work, and 2, to get Ben Simmons here.
Yeah, the Ben Simmons, the Boston stuff is nerve-wracking, but if it means Marcus Smart and a shakeup, I don't know, might be for it. Of course, we'll be talking about the Patriots taking care of business down there in Carolina.
The Jays would love it.
Raymond and I can give you some firsthand experience. It was a Foxborough South down there.
You can hear it. I was watching on TV. I couldn't believe how
we know the section it was coming from too.
Very much so. A lot of Patriots talk after that win against Carolina and looking forward to half game out of the first place. We'll do some Celtics talk. Lost a nail biter over the weekend, Marcus Smart, and obviously a little more on the Ben Simmons stuff. And the Red Sox offseason. They made the moves that they had to make, and now we wait. That'll be the show. Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show. Fat Tuesday, December 9th. Welcome to the show.
November, but close.
Fuck, November. Damn it. There was a paper over the thing.
You're a whole fucking month off, kid. It hasn't even been Thanksgiving yet, bruh.
No, the best place to go is in November or December. White Birch Brewing down in Nashville, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
60 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Head on down there on grooming day. Get yourself lubed up and then head on over to the second base place to be November, December. Whatever you do, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. 24-6 beatdown over the putrid Panthers, at least offensively. They were bad. The defense for the Patriots was good. That's where I want to start. J.C. Jackson, 2 picks, including an 88-yard pick six on one of the worst plays I've seen a quarterback make in a long time. And he was coming off an illness that kept him out of practice all week. He said that he thought it might literally kill him.
I've had
in a world
throat.
where
It's
a
not
couple
that
million
bad.
people have died from COVID, I don't know if that's the way you want to come out. If you
Patriots PR is like, don't say
It's
that.
not that bad.
not that bad. Jamie Collins with the other pick, a fucking unbelievable play. And Sam Darnold is just awful. He should not be in the league anymore. 16 for 33, 172 yards, no touchdown, 3 picks. I don't know why they didn't go to Christian McCaffrey all day long. I rewatched the game today. That third quarter before Darnold threw his third pick, Christian McCaffrey ate up that Patriots defense, which all running backs who can catch the ball will do against this team because their linebackers are a little bit slow. Judon was all over the place again. Barmore had an awesome game. And the defense showed up. Your thoughts on the defense, Bill?
I mean, great. You've owned Darnold. He's 0-4 in his career now. I mean, you baited him kind of like you've seen the team kind of switch to more zone recently. Like you're playing predominantly zone, two high safeties back now. So, I mean, you're not playing as much man-to-man. You do have a little bit of man-to-man tendencies. That's why you're kind of seeing J.C. Jackson get matched up on one guy, but you're not seeing a lot of it, what you saw early in the year. It's probably out of necessity. You lost Jonathan Jones. You lost Stephon Gilmore. Jalen Mills sucks. So, I mean, you're finally seeing the defense kind of really pick up after last 3 games on this 3-game winning streak. I mean, even going back to Tampa, you kind of confused Brady a little bit. He had a couple bad games. I mean, Justin Herbert, you saw what he did yesterday, over 300 yards, in a bounce back, and you just shut him down last week. So, I mean, it's really the defense as a whole is good. And I think a lot of it has to do with Judon and Barmore. You're playing, again, a lot of nickel, and you don't have to bring those extra rushers because Barmore is getting after the quarterback, and Matt Judon's got his 9 sack. Again, they're both getting constant pressure. I think Matt Judon's 3rd in the league or 1st in the league in pressures allowed, or pressures, I should say, generated on the quarterback. I mean, you're seeing it. He was in the backfield every play, and the way Barmore is fucking playing, I mean, 68% of the snaps yesterday. I mean, he's going up every single week, and he's making impactful plays. The interception that he threw to J.C. Jackson, Darnold, I mean, you go back and watch the replay. Who's right behind him chasing him is Barmore. I mean, he put the pressure right on him, and that it's good to see. I mean, this is what you need to see, especially Judon and Barmore. I mean, that's their key to their defense right now because, again, the pressure, and they both can stop the run.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it because I don't think your secondary is all that great. And I think a lot of this zone has to do with the quarterbacks that they're playing. Dumb quarterbacks are more easily confused when you can kind of shake around a zone instead of just playing straight man and letting your wide receivers go out there and beat a guy. But yeah, I agree with you. That front 7, specifically those 2 guys, have made it a lot easier on that secondary. Gotcho had a good game too. It felt like from the stands, Sam Darnold was running out of the pocket every single time he threw the ball. A lot of that game has to do with Sam Darnold just being atrocious, but they were certainly getting pressure. There's no doubt about it. The front 7 was getting pressure. Yeah,
and you saw it a lot. I think a scouting report was as soon as pressure Sam Darnold, he's taking his first read. You saw him scramble out of the pocket, little design runs up to kind of get out there. Never set his feet. Was throwing darts again. Terrible ball. J.C. Jackson interception. Come on, dude. How you overshot that guy by a mile, and then J.C. Jackson, he said his legs were out, dead by the time he got the 88. But going back to more of that zone kind of, suits J.C. Jackson more. I don't think he's a great cover number 1 shutdown corner, but he's a good solid corner that, and you're seeing more. He's a ball hawk. He leads the league in interceptions since 2018. He got his 5th one yesterday, first career touchdown. I mean, now you're trying to play your strength because Williams and Jalen Mills are 2 guys that I can't do it for you right now.
Yeah,
and that's
you might be right. They might be a zone team moving forward, and if that's what they found, good for them. Ray, does the defense give you some confidence, or is it, you've had 3 good games in a row. First against the Jets are terrible. You got to say it's a good game against Justin Herbert, and now the Panthers, who are terrible. Do you think the defense have turned the corner here, or do you need to see some more?
Even if they're playing terrible teams, if you have that confidence building each week and week out, and hearing from the reporters that you guys, you're just playing these weak teams, I think that's going to light a fire under their ass even more. Big test this week coming against the Browns, but I love to see what we're doing. Judon, that man is a fucking beast. We're watching from the stands, like you said yesterday, coming from the right side, the play went to the left. He went the whole opposite side of the field, 100 miles an hour. He doesn't give up on the plays. Love to see that from this defense. If they can keep this going, things are going to happen.
And you kind of got like a rotation now. You played basically the same 3 linebackers: Van Noy, Judon, or 4 Judon, Van Noy, Bentley, and Hightower. You didn't really see a lot else out there. Jamie Collins kind of mixed in later in the game on 3rd downs, but I mean, you're seeing them figure out their front 7 now. Even Godchow and Guy, and then obviously Barmore, the way they're playing. I mean, they're in there every down now. And again, Barmore is a 3-down player right now, just the way he's kind of getting out of quarterback. The stats aren't there, but he's doing a lot of pressures. And
he's in every single play.
He's in every play.
And Lawrence Guy needs a shout out. He has woken up, at least in the run game. Every time that they have a decent run stuff, he's right there. And let's be honest, their run defense has gotten a lot better too. Now, if
you held them to 79 yards, they rushed for over 200 yards last week. Carolina did.
I put a lot of that on Carolina because they kept dropping Sam Darnold back for some godforsaken reason. But I would have handed the ball off to Christian McCaffrey or that other guy, the other kid there. He had a decent catch run too.
Chuba
and make this run defense play and stop you. But I think that they've turned a little bit of a corner too. The Patriots have in that run defense and kind of shoring things up there. So yeah, I think it's a good sign, because not only did you beat bad teams, but you made them look foolish. You made the Mike White and Zach Wilson look foolish. You made Justin Herbert look foolish. You made Sam Darnold look completely foolish. So yeah, certainly a good test coming up with the Browns in this defense. Hopefully they can keep it going. I expect the Browns to get some big chunk plays. I mean, Jalen Mills is due for at least one of those 25, 27 yard, in cuts to the middle.
He hasn't had that one a little bit. So
yeah. Nick Chubb will be a good test for them coming back. They're the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL in basically every single category: yards per, touchdowns. So he's a beast. We shall.
God, if there was only a way, the New England Patriots could have drafted one Georgia.
If
only they could have taken one Georgia running back.
I'd love to see that scouting report from, what was that, 2017?
Yeah,
they drafted him
18 because they won the Super Bowl Michelle's rookie year, and
right. So the draft was from the 2017 season for college. I would love to see that scouting report from those Georgia running backs. No, Sony Michel's the guy. This is who.
Yeah, constantly hurt, averaged 5 yards a carry in college. Can't catch the football out of the backfield. He's better than the good all-around 3-down back who can catch and run and is one of the top 10 running backs in the league. That's awesome. That's just awesome.
Solid choice there, but we can't. Good draft. Looks like last year turned out to be a pretty good draft for old Billy Boy.
Oh, this year's looking good too. You're 2 for 2 in first and second round right now. I mean, Mack and Barmore.
Yep, not bad. How about this? Speaking of, was Damian Harris undrafted? When did he get drafted?
Third round.
Third round, yeah.
Okay, great. And Ramadan Ding Dong went fourth round.
Yep.
So both those guys had head injuries and might not be playing for a little bit, but they look good. The run game in general looked pretty good. Even fucking Brandon Bolin, the skeleton that is from? Brandon Bolden had a nice day. Obviously had that wheel route on 3rd down. That was a big play for him. But broke a couple tackles. I think I put it down here, or maybe I didn't. 8 carries, 54 yards, whatever that average is. And Ramadan Ding Dong, that big 44 yards.
Yeah, about 7.
That
6,
big
8.
44-yard catch and run. He's looked good catching the ball in the backfield in the limited time we've seen.
I thought he got hurt with a leg injury, so I don't know. The replay, I don't know if you guys saw it because you're in the stadium, but yeah, like that long run, he got hurt, Ramadan Ding Dong. Like he pulled up and he was holding the back of his leg, and you're like, "What's going on?" He jogged off, and they went right into the tent. You didn't see like it was a head injury, but he might have smashed it on the ground.
Well, Harris was a head injury, and I guess I'm thinking
Harris got lit up, and then Gunner got lit up on a kick return.
Yeah, we saw that right away. Clear as day from up in the nosebleeds. He got fucking rocked.
They never mentioned it on the game. I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, he just got rocked, and he kind of got up wobbly. And then they never said it on the broadcast. By the way, that broadcast, abysmal. Justin Bethel had an 88-yard touchdown return for a touchdown.
I watched it. I listened back to it today.
It was so bad.
Who was the guys? Who was the two?
Adam Archuleta and Gumbel.
Jesus.
It was the worst. I'm not even kidding. It was the worst. That was the worst I've ever seen. They got every player's name wrong.
Justin Bethel, 80 for the pick 6.
I'm looking at it going, wait, that's
what the
Jackson.
fuck is this guy talking about? So is this their identity? I mean, Damian Harris has become pretty much an automatic touchdown inside the 5-yard line if they're running it. we've talked about their O-line coming into form. True Ray, Isaiah Wynn has sucked in pass block. I mean, another holding call, another false start.
You have 15 holding calls in the league. You're fourth in the league, I believe, in holding calls. Not
Isaiah
good.
Wynn, I think Karras had a holding call, or he had a false start. The left side of your line is not great, but you're running the ball. You're running the ball pretty well here the last few games, last month or so. Good thing because Mac hasn't looked good, but you got confidence in the run game, keeping it up if these running backs can stay healthy?
You have to. Yeah, you have to, because I'll tell you what, Mac Jones had one completion after halftime. You're not going to beat good teams playing like that. You need your quarterback to step up. But I mean, this is your identity as defense and running the ball. We've said it all year. This is what you're going to need with a young quarterback, because right now this is 2 bad games in a row. I mean, he was 12 for 18, 131 yards, a terrible interception, a dirty play on that strip sack.
Oh, fuck out of here with a fucking dirty play.
And
that interception, by the way, going back and looking at it, Jonnu Smith fucking blows. The guy doesn't know how to run a route, doesn't know how to do shit. He ran the other defender into Jacoby Myers, which pulled Myers off the route. Everyone is giving Gilmore a ton of credit for running that route. Myers got picked by his own fucking guy, and Mac Jones threw it to Gilmore. So nice play by Gilmore, sure, but pump the brakes, because that's the only play he made all day, by the way. And it was basically Jonnu Smith's fault. So
yeah,
that Mac Jones didn't play well, sure. The strip sack, clearly not really his fault. Held it a little long, I guess. But Hunter Henry and Isaiah Wynn, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're a left tackle. You're pinned inside. And I know Hunter Henry was chipping and let him go, but Jesus, what is he doing out there? So let me give you some more mistakes.
Especially
the wrong way. It was 4 penalties in the first 5 minutes for this offense. Two more delay games. One of them after a timeout or a TV timeout. You came out in the first play of the fucking drive. You got to.
No, there's confusion about
Bill.
that.
Jesus Christ, can I finish? I'll come to you right after this.
Speed the fuck up.
Missed field goal by Folk, who's I don't think it's Folk's fault. I don't kick that field goal. What are you doing kicking a 54-yard field goal? Just pin him down there. Sam Darnold. I didn't like the call. That was after another false start by the Panthers, by the way. Terrible. And then this one's a little bit minor, but it was the first drive of the game. Myers fumbled that ball, catching it, and cost him a first down. And look, you had a 14-6 lead in halftime. That was not that, it always felt like the Patriots had it in hand because the Panthers are so bad, but they weren't playing great. And that was your first drive of the game, and it cost them a first down. So certainly far from perfect on the offensive side of the ball. Bill, feel free to take it wherever you want.
Yeah, I mean, your mental mistakes. You got to, again, you're fourth in the league in holding penalties. That's unacceptable. And again, the one saving grace with the 2 turnovers is your defense held them to 6 points off the 2. That was the only thing. You turned the ball over both times in your own territory. I mean, you need more out of Mac Jones. You really do. And again, you got 4 catches, 42 yards out of your wide receivers. Hunter Henry, 2 catches, 19 yards. I mean, you need more out of the offense as a whole. You need to see Mac make those strides. And right now, game number 9 in the year, back-to-back games, LA last week, and then this week, again, he didn't have a lot of opportunity in the second half, but you're playing a good defense. I mean, Carolina is one of the top 5 defenses in the league right now, and they just added a healthy Stephon Gilmore. So, I mean, that's a pretty legit defense. Gilmore might not have made an impact, but he was all over the field last night, especially against Jacoby Myers. And again, with the pick. So, I mean, that helped. He might not have shown up on the stat sheet, but he showed up with Mac Jones not having wide receivers to throw. Nelson Aguilar wasn't nowhere to be found. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be good. Hopefully, like at least with your run game, maybe Trent Brown, if he can ever get healthy, he can come off the IR whenever, then maybe that will fix the kind of offensive left side of that ball, because you're going to move Anunwa back, or Anunwa, what the fuck, I can never pronounce a stupid name, but you can move him.
Owenu. Who is Anunwa?
I don't know why I always get this confused.
Who the fuck is Anunwa? It is a person. Maybe someone just pronounced Owenu's name like that. That's
probably why. They probably said on the fucking game, and it's in my brain now. Owenu could move back to left guard and maybe stabilize that a little bit, but the offense needs to pick it up. You got tough games. Cleveland looks tougher now after that shellacking of Ray's Cincinnati Bengals.
Bengals are for real. Bengals are
I mean, and then you got the Titans, who they showed up yesterday against my number 1 team in the NFL. I mean, they're 7-2, number 1 seed in the AFC. So I mean,
yeah, that was surprising game of them. That Panthers defense.
You're not going to beat a team like that with the offense that you saw this week.
But this is also, can I go real quick? This is Mac Jones' rookie year. He's been playing in the SEC. This is a long season. This is not, you're not playing with boys anymore. You're playing with men. he's gotten hit a lot this year already. Maybe he's got some injuries. Hoyer came in at the end of the game yesterday.
They were up 24-6. That's why he came in. That was a victory.
Belichick never does that shit. He always makes them play out. Something might be actually wrong with him. He might be actually having an injury, and that's why he's not throwing the ball as much as we think we want him to.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had an injury because his accuracy's been off. He's been pulling it. You just look at the last 2 games. It's not that he hasn't thrown the ball well, and he's kind of pulling it all to the left. And second to last drive, whatever it was, last time they were in the red zone, he threw basically a couple fade routes to the left side of the field, and they both sailed out of bounds by 5 or 6 yards. Maybe he was just being safe with it, but he had one to Jonnu Smith that was low and away, far down to the left. Feels like he's pulling it. Maybe it's in his head. Maybe it's something else. Like you said, Ray, I mean, he's been beat the shit out of. You're right. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little dinged up and he's got some things going on. I don't know if that's causing it
either.
To your point, he's
when's your bye week? Week 14. I mean, dude, you're sitting 5-4. I'll take it. I mean, if your defense can keep picking up like this, you can handle games the way Mac is playing. You can go in and shut down Cleveland next week. I mean, again, Christian McCaffrey's a better running back, and I know Christian McCaffrey, I would take over Nick Chubb when healthy.
Not this week. When healthy, yes.
Well, when healthy, but I'm just saying you kind of shut down the run game. That's the whole thing. I think just going in. I mean, you can get by, but when you play the good teams, you're not going to do it. So I mean, if I'll take this right now at 5-4 because Cam Newton would be here next if it wasn't for Mac Jones. Back to my opening take. This is where it would be. We wouldn't be talking about this.
No, of course not. No, and Mac Jones played really well at the beginning part of the season, and he's a rookie. He's had 2 less than stellar games, but you're still put up mid-20 points. You've gotten 2 touchdowns by the offense.
But he made drive when he needed to.
Fucking A, Bill. Let me get my goddamn point across. For the love of fucking God, Billy Rambles. 2 touchdowns each by the offense. Nick Folk is an automatic machine inside of 50. Just get a couple field goals. You're in the mid-20s. The Patriots defense has not allowed 24 points or more to any team outside of overtime this year. So their defense has been playing like this pretty much all season, and they look like they stepped it up. Question me, Bill.
No, I know.
They gave up more than 24 to besides overtime.
Well, they gave up 30 in regulation though. 31
to who?
Dallas in regulation, and then I mean,
pick 6.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I've lost my goddamn train of thought.
Patriots now half game back from the Bills.
Yeah, how about that?
Incredible. And you saw the Jacksonville Jaguars win their first game on American soil in 420 days, and it has to just be against the Buffalo Bills.
That's a great stat. That is a great stat right there.
That's a fucking terrific stat. I won't question it. A half game fucking back from the Bills is far better than we thought. We thought we were going to be walking into this Bills game in a couple of weeks, 2 games back, and hoping for a miracle. The Bills have not looked good. You're trending upwards for the most part, except for your rookie quarterback who's kind of plateaued. The rest of your team is basically trending upward. You got 2 winnable games before you see him next. You got 2 games against the Bills, the Titans, and the Colts. Those are your tough games. You can lose 3 and still be in the playoffs. If you take 1 out of 2 from the Bills and squeeze a couple out against either the Titans and or the Browns and or the Colts, and you only lose 2, you're right there for the division. And the Bills certainly don't look all they're cracked up to be at the beginning of the year. It's pretty fucking incredible.
No, and you look at it too, like we were talking earlier, like this stretch, this 5-game stretch. I think it ends with the Titans. You needed to really, it ends with the Titans. You really needed to go, or Atlanta. You really need to go 4-1. I mean, the possibility right now is to go 5-0 in this stretch leading up to Tennessee, and then you got the Colts, and then you got two against Buffalo in 3 weeks. Like realistically, if you split one with Buffalo, I mean, you're right there. I don't think Buffalo's looking as good as they have. I mean, come on, Josh Allen is complete regression. You want to talk about regression? That's Josh Allen. He had 43 touchdowns or 49 touchdowns total last year, and he is just running for his life and throwing bad. 2-2, Rich, go for it. I mean, this is what you need to see. And again, the Patriots keep playing good defense. You've seen them shut down some pretty deep. That offense last week for the Chargers that they shut down was pretty legit. Throw out that garbage touchdown. You gave them 17 points to that offense. I mean,
dude, the Bills are
right there.
We're the number 1 scoring team in the offense into the NFL going into that game. They scored 6 points. They lost 6-9. Nice. How
Nice.
I mean, how do you even do that? I didn't watch. I mean, maybe I got to go back.
And Jacksonville's kicker missed like 4 kicks. One, it was one, it was a false start that backed him up. One was a offsides that pushed him forward. He missed every kick. I'm not even kidding. He had 3 kicks in a row in like one sequence from penalties, and he missed all 3 times for Jacksonville.
And the Bills lost them. Go Bills. Real quick, Ray, just a in-person review of Carolina Stadium. We were up pretty high, basically.
Sucks, dude. I hate that stadium. You walk up.
I enjoyed it.
Like this.
It was fine. I don't think it was a bad seat in the house.
Beautiful.
It's just a
beautiful
dome
spot. Yeah.
But we were a section over. We had our own decent Patriots crowd with us, and just every Patriots fan there basically were classic fucking massholes. Backwards hat, fucking boots or Nikes, jeans, and the
shirts off,
either shirts off or the sweatshirt and the jersey. Everyone had the same fucking accent, and they were all fucking assholes. Every single one of them. There was almost a fight next to us, but the section over. The whole section was Patriots fans. They were singing "Sweet Caroline" a couple times. They had the "Go Patriots" chant going through basically half the fucking stadium. There was a fight. Security was called. There was almost
a couple times the security was called.
By the middle of the third quarter, every Carolina fan basically had left, and the stadium was still half full, and it was all Patriots fans.
Did you see the video of Robbie Anderson cussing out Sam Darnold on the sideline? He is pissed. I mean, the whole team.
Damn, bro.
Dude,
you suck, bro.
That was a pick. That was a pick to J.C. Jackson where he threw it directly to him on the run.
Yeah, his second pick, dude. Going back to Carolina, man, you had a chance to take a quarterback at 8, and you passed on it because you traded for Sam Darnold, and now you put your franchise, the rebuild of your franchise, in Sam Darnold's hands, dude. You're 4 and 5 now.
Trade everything to get Deshaun Watson as soon as he's acquitted.
He doesn't want to go there. He wants to go to Miami. He said he would. The only place he's basically taking a trade would Miami.
Right. You keep saying acquitted. Do you know what acquitted means?
Yeah. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
I stand corrected. Speaking of acquitted, OBJ has been cut. Is that what it means, Ray? We'll check on that later.
Yeah.
Cut by the Browns, will hit waivers, and we will know if he's a Patriot basically by 4:00 today, as this is released. There are a lot of smoke. There's a lot of smoke. Patriots have released James Ferentz, opening up a roster spot on their 53. They've opened up 2 practice spots on their practice squad. OBJ has said that he wants to come there. There are a handful of other teams that have said they're interested. Seattle and New Orleans, 2 of them. It seems like a Belichick deal. You get a guy for cheap, someone else is paying, a undervalued asset that still has something left in the tank. Oh, and by the way, you're going to play his team this week. Talk about a little intel you can get. Oh, and by the way, no one's talking about this. The guy that he would potentially replace, Nelson Aguilar, is a 0 in this offense. Tell me right now. I know that we're all kind of a no on OBJ because of who OBJ is, but if you put him instead of Nelson Aguilar, do you think that you'll get a little bit more out of that wide receiver position and what Aguilar is supposed to be doing out there?
Yes, if he's healthy, but I don't think they're gonna put a waiver claim in $7.5 million. I think the biggest thing is you just persuade him to sign here.
No one's gonna put a waiver claim in.
Yeah, you just persuade him to sign here. That's the biggest thing. I mean, again, Cleveland is paying his salary if no one claims him. This is a typical Belichick move. Get him for cheap. Have the other a cheap good player. Have the fucking another team basically pay his whole salary. So I mean, you need it. We've been saying all year you're still a wide receiver. I hated the Nelson Aguilar signing, and you need more wide receivers because honestly, outside of Hunter Henry, you ain't getting shit out of your tight ends. Right. I mean, even 2 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. Great. You have 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games. But
why have they not been able to get the tight ends moving at all in this offense? Like
they try with Jonnu Smith. They were giving them handoffs out of the backfield and they're trying to do shit.
Is it because they don't know the playbook? This is one of the hardest playbooks to learn. Are they that dumb that they just can't catch on?
How hard is it just to run a quick little option, a 6 or 7 yard option route with a tight end who can box out? Gronk used to do it all the fucking time. You just run, turn around, throw it to my left hip and my right hip, depending on where the defender is. I'm big. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry should be able to do that on 3rd down every single time that they need one. I don't understand why they're just not running those simple little options route that you used to do with Gronk and Edelman all the time.
I think it has a lot to do with Mac just spreading the ball around too. Like you had 10 different guys touch the ball in the first 11 plays, I believe, for Mac Jones yesterday. So I mean that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, you've seen
what it rains on Sunday.
It's Tuesdays.
I bet.
All hands on dicks.
Oh, now he likes the joke. Now he likes the joke.
Now he's into it.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I've been making them about your mom since you came up with it.
OBJ has that'll certainly be some news and certainly be something to talk about. And I don't know. I think he brings a little bit more talent to an offense that has passing offense that has certainly struggled over the last several weeks anyway.
Yeah, it needs a fluffer.
He needs a fluffer. That's it for Patriots talk. We'll be right back after this. We'll throw it over to the obvious one to give us today's headlines.
The Patriots traveled to Charlotte with what felt like half of Massachusetts was there and get a convincing 24-6 win. J.C. Jackson with 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. Mac Jones was 12 for 18 with a TD to Hunter Henry and an interception to Stephon Gilmore. Patriots are now just a half game behind the Bills for the division after the Bills lose to Jacksonville 6-9. Nice. Over the weekend, the Celtics lost to Luka Doncic and the Mavs 107-105 at the buzzer. Celtics are 4-6 in the last in its first 10 games of the season. Reports have the Celtics interested in pursuing a trade for Ben Simmons. The deal is reported to include Jaylen Brown and will land Brad Stevens on the list if this were to go down. Bruins lose to the Maple Leafs 5-2 over the weekend, bringing their record to 5-4 to start the season. JD Martinez has opted in his $19.3 million option to stay with the Boston Red Sox in 2022. The Sox exercised their $7 million option on catcher Christian Vasquez. These were the headlines with the obvious one.
Welcome back. I don't think what we mentioned in the headlines we'll get to in the Red Sox, but did they gave Eddie Rodriguez the qualifying offer, right?
Stupid, and he's going to take it too because uncertainty of the offseason. 18.3 or 18.9. He just made 9.4, I believe, or 9 million this year, somewhere around that range. Ooh.
All right, we'll get there. Before that, let's just address this Ben Simmons thing. We talked about it a little bit in the opening. Obviously, everybody in New England said if they traded Jaylen Brown for Ben Simmons, that he's on the list. Brad Stevens is on the Queen's list for murder, and it will happen. He will be dead before the nightfall. That's not happening. They wouldn't. I mean, they didn't. Everyone's saying this, but they wouldn't trade Jaylen Brown for James Harden. They're not doing it for fucking Ben Simmons
or Kawhi.
Right, they didn't trade him for anybody.
Well,
that was
Danny.
I get it. Brad's a little bit different, but he's not dumb enough to do it for fucking Ben Simmons, is he?
If you can do it for, like I said, I mentioned in the opening take, if you can do it for Marcus Smart, Schroeder, and whoever, you got I defense and assists. I know he can't shoot, but he can get the ball to the guys that can shoot. I think you can make Brown and Tatum a better player because he's a better facilitator than anything you have. He can at least take the ball up the court and let Tatum and Brown get to their spots, and then Ben Simmons is going to hit him. Marcus Smart can't do shit. He can't pass the ball. Schroeder, 4 or 5 assists a game. I mean, Ben Simmons can lead the league in assists, and now you have shooters on. Like you have Tatum and Brown that can somewhat shoot. So I think it's going to make your offense better. But again, it's all dependent on Smart, Schroeder, Horford, all these shitbag contracts that will have to go back. But I'm not moving Jaylen Brown for anyone that's Ben Simmons.
Question for you. I have a conspiracy theory. Get a life, loser. What if Tatum's running off on this and says, yeah, do Brown for Ben Simmons?
I've been saying they need to move one of them for a long time. Jaylen Brown seems the most obvious guy to move, but you can get better. Like I would move him from Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. Those are the type of players that you're probably going to move Jaylen Brown in, not a Ben Simmons type, because you're making.
Guys averaging 26 points a game, 6 rebounds and 3 assists. He's an all-star. Ben Simmons can't. Not only can he not shoot, do that. He's a mental midget, and he's also. Fuck, I might have to beat that.
Yeah,
but he's also.
No, you're good.
Plays
kickables. They're called kickables.
He's also, this is the biggest part that people kind of forget. He's a liability in the fourth quarter. You can't play him down the stretch because he can't even shoot free throws. He's an absolute loser. The only way I saw this trade, and this is what sparked my interest. Marcus Smart, Josh Richardson, something else, 2 first-round picks.
Yes.
And you get Seth Curry back along with Ben Simmons.
Oh, please, yes. Seth Curry could shoot.
It might have been 3 first-round picks.
I don't know.
I'll give him 4.
Seth Curry and Embiid now are like buddy. He loves playing. He's been going out in the media making a point, being like, "Yeah, this team's way better now." All this shit. There's no way they'd trade Seth Curry.
Either way, the Ben Simmons thinks no. I would want Marcus Smart off this team. I still think that's a problem. Let's switch gears to Saturday night. Ray and I were right on the cups of being cross-eyed when this game went to halftime. So we didn't catch the end of this.
Me either.
But
I forgot they even played.
We were making dollar bets with each other, and I don't remember what happened after that. But after going back and looking at it, here, let me sum it up for you. Marcus Smart fucking blew it. Marcus Smart fucking blew it again. A bad turnover. He was trying to draw the foul like he was James Harden last year or for the years prior. That they didn't get that call, and then he committed a foul when he shouldn't have. Ime Udoka came out afterwards and said that was not the strategy, but I guess it's my fault covering up for Marcus Smart yet again,
That's
enabling this fucking guy. He's just a problem. It's time to move on. We've been saying this for 2 years. He's just a problem. He's not that bad of a player. He's just a problem in this organization. It's time to move on. It happens all the time. He's been here for 8 years. Go find me more than 20 players in the NBA that have stayed in their organization for more than 8 years. I bet it's a challenge to find that. So what is the fucking big
Steph
deal?
Curry, boom.
Suck it. Marcus goddamn Smart. It's driving me insane. Also, Luka just has your number. What is this?
That was a sick shot.
He's beat you with.
That was
in 3 years.
Oh, God, you could have had Luka. We could have had Luka.
He's kind of a bitch too, to be honest.
Oh, I enjoy those type of players.
What
He's
was that deal?
fantastic, though. Yeah,
It was Brown and
it was
There's one
Jaylen Brown
Brown.
in the third round pick or something, or the whatever pick they had. Or they moved up and they traded whatever it was. You could have drafted Luka. You could have traded Jaylen and drafted Luka.
I think the biggest thing is the covering up for Marcus Smart. Udoka after the game says, "Yeah, I didn't tell everybody on the team that not to foul. That's on my really. Where the fuck was Marcus Smart? Was he on the court? The guy that you have on the court, those are the guys should know not to foul. So he's taking it upon himself to foul, and then you see Luka make a ridiculous shot. But the covering up for Marcus Smart it's a problem that we've seen for years now. We thought that nipped that in the bud when you suspended him for missing the team playing in a preseason game. But now you're seeing in a regular season game. This is an opportunity to start benching guys. You cost the team a fucking game. You could have went into overtime and probably won that fucking game. And instead, you're taking upon yourself to call a needless foul when you shouldn't have. And your coach is telling everybody, but Marcus Smart, where the fuck was Marcus Smart on that? No, he heard it and said, "Fuck you. I'm doing this. I'm doing this on my own." And this is the shit he used to do with Brad, and it can't stand. And Brad's sitting there in the fucking GM role going, "Meh, do what you want, Marcus. Meh."
Yeah. That was your point last show, Ray. Brad Stevens knew what he was getting himself into, and he still gave him a 4-year extension.
$22 million, which I didn't want to do. You gave him a $10 million raise to tell your coach to basically go fuck yourself and lose you a game. Am I wrong?
No, he's not. You're not wrong at all. But the only silver lining here is I think old Trader Brad is on the phones waiting for January to come. And he needs to find
Bradley Beal is the target. That's why him and Williams got signed to big deals. We've all said
he ain't gonna go anywhere if the Wizards
contracts.
keep winning. The Wizards keep winning.
I don't give a fuck who it is at this point. Just move.
Get rid of Marcus Smart.
Just move him.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh,
Fine.
don't.
Don't do it to him.
It's been a long weekend. I can't do that right now.
It's already still has a Langevin.
Do it to him. Last thing I'll put on the Celtics is whether it's Marcus Smart problem or not, Udoka problem. These last games, this road stretch, they have played harder. It doesn't look like
that Miami game was legit.
Yeah, that was a strong, legit win. Jason Tatum had 1 point. I think he's moved out of his shooting slump. It looked like in Dallas anyway. But the greater point is they're playing hard, and good job for Aaron Nesmith and those backups in that second quarter of that game coming in.
Why isn't he playing more? Let's be real. I feel
he doesn't have a big bench like fucking Brad did. It's awesome. I enjoy it.
Why? He's the guy you tear it up in the preseason. He can actually shoot. The way he finished last year, I thought he was averaging 12, 15 points a game. The last 10 or 15 games of the season, he was turning into a consistent player, and now he's never seen the court. I think I would rather have him over guys like Grant fucking Williams, Romeo Langford, those guys in the rotation. Give the kid a better shot. Let him get him more minutes. He's a rookie. Same thing with Pritchard. You're not seeing Pritchard on the court anymore.
Especially with a team like this that we're bitching at for not playing hard. Guys like that who make a living playing hard as young kids and don't really have the NBA game down, they spark energy into your team. That's not an NBA thing. That's an all sports everywhere thing. Every team needs those type of guys. That guy's supposed to be Marcus Smart, but he's getting paid $20 million a year because he thinks he's fucking Allen Iverson. Doesn't do that shit anymore. So Aaron Nesmith, Romeo Langford, Peyton Pritchard, those guys play with energy and purpose. And I think that they have a spot in that rotation. I don't think they have Brad Stevens' spot in the rotation. They shouldn't be getting 20 minutes a night, but plug them in there when you need a jolt of energy. That's what your job as a fucking coach is, to read the floor and understand what you need and know what guys give you. And I don't know, maybe I'm figuring out. It's only 10
especially a
games
team that can't shoot, where you got the best shooter and supposedly the best shooter in the draft last year, and Peach Baskets. I mean, at least let the guy come in and shoot.
I can't tell if he's joking or not. He sucked. It took him 6 games to score.
I'm Langevin joking.
Fair enough.
On the cups. Maybe
Just
there, maybe you're not.
Almost there.
Just almost there.
Almost there. Give me a second, baby. Give me a second.
Bill, after the show, I'll tell you something funny.
Good segue, Ray. Red Sox baseball.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
Let's talk about something funny. JD Martinez opts in to be your designated hitter for the Boston Red Sox in 2022, $19 million a year. I kind of felt like this was coming. He's getting older. He's trending downward. There's not a place for him. That NL DH, even if it goes through, I don't think it's going through this season. It's going to be another season. So in the CBA,
no, if it goes through, it's starting 2022. Because they were saying even in the World Series, when Greinke was getting hits, it's like, all right, that's probably the last time you're going to see a pitcher bat in the World Series. I mean, it might happen this year. JD opts in because you don't know the big reason is you don't know what's happening in the offseason with the CBA coming up. I know you're going to try to go over it, but that's huge. Like 19.6, I believe, or 19.4 is he's getting. I think in a normal offseason, he's getting that money. I mean, he's 34, but he hit 28 home runs, over 90 RBIs, hit 280 last year. I mean, he's still a serviceable player, and that's a going rate for a hitter like that. But I think it's uncertain in the offseason. That's why I think, Erod's going to take his offer at 18.9 and then just go back to it next year. I don't think anyone's going to pay him, but the uncertainty in the offseason is huge because, again, I've mentioned before, they might not play till fucking June with the CBA, if at all. Like, we're in for a work stoppage right here. So, I mean, you're going to jump on your deal and just ride it out and then figure it out next year.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I think all the players must be in flux. And that, I mean, the DH thing with the CBA, how do you build a team not knowing what the fucking rules are? That's why you might be right. Maybe they said 2022, but it doesn't make sense to me. It should be 2023. I don't know how you build a team if you don't know what the rules are. So
they had it last
baseball.
year. Honestly, Rich, they had it last year in the bubble. They had the universal DH. You had teams build teams like that. I mean,
yeah, and people were pissed. The NL was pissed. They put that rule in late, and they were pissed.
Well, look at the Braves this year. To reference the World Series champions, they had Soler playing DH in the AL parks, World Series MVP. So I mean, teams they'll adjust, they'll adapt.
I get of course they'll adapt. They have to.
You guys know Braves, they won the World Series.
Did they win it? Good for them. Good for you. How does this affect the Red Sox? This is a big offseason for Red Sox fans to see, what's the true method for Heim Bloom and these boys moving forward here. Obviously, we were a fan of Kyle Schwarber over JD Martinez. I still think there's a chance they sign Schwarber. They might even trade JD, but I think they'll sign Schwarber and keep both of them. Honestly, I think they like Schwarber that much, and they have plans for him, whether it be DH, first base, or left field.
Base.
They're running with the Rays mentality, so I feel like they think they can plug him in wherever they want. But I think they like his bat more than anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they get Schwarber too.
Yeah, and I think that's probably all you're going to see because if, Erod, the hope is Erod doesn't take it. So if he signs for a $50 million deal, you do get a draft pick out of the deal. But I expect him to take it, and that's all you're spending. There's rumors they want to have a big offseason money-wise, but you just offered Erod doubled Erod's salary, picked JD's in there, and then I think Kyle Schwarber is the missing piece on offense. But again, you got to trust his defense at first base. You're bringing back basically the whole offense. I would like to add second baseman if you're going to spend. I've already said it, Marcus Semien. That's the way you should go if you're spending big money this offseason. But I don't see it now. You're trying to just retain your own guys. You did decline Richards, you did decline Martin Perez, but you did attend Verlander's workout today, by the way. So, I mean, there might be some interest there. He was hitting 95, 96 on the gun as a 39-year-old, I believe he is. I mean, that might be a good stop.
I know where Ray's head went. I know exactly.
Those titties, Kate Upton. Yeah, buddy.
Kate Upton fappening. Oh God, that'll give any limp dick a hard on.
Even a Langevin.
Oh
Even a Langevin.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. They got 4 weeks for the CBA. Good fucking luck. December 1st is the deadline on that. Good fucking luck. But at least it'll give Chaim Bloom and the nerds a long time to crunch those numbers for when they finally get back into play. They'll know exactly what they're looking to do. Exactly what they're looking to do. All right, this has been the Simple Minds Sports Show. Fat Tuesday, November 9th. See you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
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 King Upton happening.
Dude, have you seen it?
Yeah,
Great.
of course. Everyone has.
Good pussy shots. Those big old titties.
Those milkers. Woo.
I just want to lay down on the bed and let her beat me in the face with them.
I want her to Nardone me with those things.
Full-on new podcast studio.
I might be back to the original on Thursday.
Over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Pretty soon. It's somewhere else soon. Get rid of the good old condo.
Queen's Landing. What are you going to do for security at the new place?
Click clack, plenty of guns.
That was a silly question.
Just picked up a new one. Come on.
Yeah, but the reputation won't be there.
It will be when I have to kill the first motherfucker who comes up.
Motherfucker.
If we're being honest, I think Stabby McStabster helped the reputation of Queen's Landing, keeping some of the other riffraff out.
Yeah, this area is nice and quiet. I don't hear any stabbings and fights, and cops show up all the time. So,
do you think you're going to bring that to that area, though?
No, I've never brought it before. I didn't choose those crackheads that live next door to me. My upscale neighborhood.
No one chooses it. No one like the Queen chooses it. It just follows. It's just a trail of trash.
A pussy and ash.
Nice.
Story of my life.
Trash trail.